I suppose because everybody and their dog have been saying this, I should probably go ahead and throw my own 2 cents on there as well. Everybody has said this year has sucked, and I absolutely agree. It's almost a running joke just to say it's like, oh, hey, 2020, worst year of the world, I mean, it's warranted. 2020 has been a very garbage year. It has very much been what I feel to be a transition year. A year where a lot of very major and very negative changes have happened over the course of our, of the entirety of the year that we have just been trying to struggle with, and we've been trying to play nice, work with our neighbors, work with people, and try and be friendly, be happy as happy as we possibly can, try and be safe, be smart. There's a ton of things that have happened this year that we're all trying to fight through, and that includes me as well. There's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about on the back end of my streams and just in my own personal life, but I will say there are certain days where I've felt really, really weak and tired, and I felt like I just didn't want to come on to the stream. I did not want to come out and entertain. But I have pushed past that, and I did come out even on days where I wasn't 100% there. And I'm sure that you guys probably didn't even notice. the days where I was kind of off. That said, there were a lot of days where I decided instead of doing an actual BitB stream, I decided to just do a casual stream. That's one of the biggest differences that I made for myself this year. I tried to focus more on just trying to relax and not worry too much about being too entertaining and just come on here and have fun. It's kind of difficult because I've always tried and pushed myself to do some kind of entertaining thing for BitB streams and to try and be better, try to improve myself. I don't have to do that all the time, and I need to pull myself out of that mindset. And I think doing the casual streams, it takes a lot of pressure off of me because it means that I can just come on here and hang out with you guys and just, I don't know, derp around, do some random crap and not have to worry about having any of that footage uploaded. And Gamer Squid even says, take breaks. The casual streams really are a break to me because I don't have to worry about sequencing them. I don't have to worry about uploading it. I don't have to worry about thumbnails. It's just, I'm jumping on here and I'm giving everybody a high five and I'm having fun and, being with people. So for me, I think that was my own, present to myself, is that I did a lot more casual streams this year. But I think going forward, I'm actually going to do that more often because it really does help me just mentality-wise. It helps to take a little bit of a break and just chill out. And I know you guys have been talking about stuff in the chat here. Trashy says, self-care, do it. Points water gun. Don't need to prove yourself, Bit, just be you. Thank you, Peck. An important part of making yourself better is making sure you take care of yourself. That's very true. And I've been doing a lot of here's the thing. On top of the fact that I have been trying to do more casual streams, I've also been doing a lot more work on myself, and I've been improving myself personally by learning new skills, new techniques. I've been pushing myself forward those directions and trying to expand out. And trying to keep things from getting too routine and mundane, I guess is a good way to put it. Yeah, when you end up getting self-quarantined / mandatory quarantined, there's a lot of stuff that you're just like, oh god, I'm so sick and tired of doing this every single day. So I've tried to branch out, and I've done some stuff to just improve my own personal life, and just I don't know, just enjoy myself more. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Pizza. Which, by the way, I am still looking forward to. I have some dough currently rising in the fridge, and I'm gonna try that out sometime soon, and hopefully that will turn out pretty good. Anywho, yeah, I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I think it was worth it, considering that this was an important thing I wanted to discuss for the year-end stuff. I don't think I can go through some of the positives without looking at a bunch of the negatives. Pizza time. Anyways, but yeah, I'm sick and tired of talking about the negatives. Let's go ahead and move into the positives of this year. Some of the really cool things that happened during this year. Let us start with, here we go. I played a hell of a lot of the games in the Master Chief Collection for Halo. Now, I know that there are a lot of people in here that don't really care all that much about Halo. I do, because Halo was it was kind of my childhood, despite the fact it probably shouldn't have been, considering it's a first-person shooter. But like, I don't know, like I really enjoy the Halo series, like ridiculously, and there's very low turnout when it comes to the Halo streams, because I don't know if people are busy or if they're just not interested. But that's totally fine too, by the way. If you don't want to come out for any particular games that I do, that's cool. I wouldn't want you to be involved in a stream that you couldn't be personally invested in yourself. So don't worry too much about being out for every single one of them. In fact, the reason why I did the Halo streams is because, I mean, they were a big deal to me personally, and that's why I'm like, I'm showcasing this. Woo. And yeah, it's just been so nice to see a whole bunch of the old Halo games come out for PC after years and years of begging Microsoft, being like, please, you have a market on PC. Please, I want to play these games. I want them on my console. Like, I want them on my system. Do it. And it's nice. Like, finally, the original trilogy, as well as a couple of other things, are finally out on PC. OPEC says, I'm not interested in it, but I joined just to chill with y'all. Oh, thank you very much for coming out. I know that Silver really likes the Halo games. FB only ever played the first game. The first game was pretty good. I think after that, like, I don't know, like, it definitely felt a lot different afterwards. Almost like, the first one was just kind of like the actual artistic, interesting version of the game. And then the other ones afterwards felt like it was just a chronological movement forward. Like a mandated amount of games that need to be made. Because, oh, Halo, it's our moneymaker. It's the thing that's going to sell consoles. But regardless, a lot of them are still pretty good. Some of them are not. I still have not played one particular game that I really badly want to get into. That being said, that will happen eventually too on the stream. I will be doing that. It's just a case of when do I feel like diving into it. Silver says I played the second game all the time with my brothers, so I am biased. I love everything from the first game up to the third game, and then a little bit of ODST, sort of, and Reach, of course. I think it's when they started moving to, let's just make Halo games because, you know, they sell consoles, and they're... I complained about it. Rosa says, happy 5th, Boomer! Well, thank you. Anyway, so, yeah, expect a little bit more Halo to be happening sometime in the future. I need to play Halo 4. I don't know if any of the future Halos are going to be coming out on PC or not. I certainly hope with the purchases, the purchases of the Master Chief Collection have been very significant, and I would hope that that would be enough for Microsoft, that they would go ahead and port it, more of their games to PC, because, I mean, for God's sakes, we're all here. Like, we can do it. We can play. All right, but anyway, that's the Halo element of this. Let's move on to the next game that I think was pretty noteworthy, and that was Psychonauts. This was very latter end of the year, but it is still a very interesting game that I played. It's a game that came out in like 2003 that I had never played up until this point. And I have Nova Starlight to thank for gifting me the game. So once again, thank you very much for gifting me that. It was really fun, and it was especially fun to get to know a game that was hugely the influence of a lot of other games that I've played, including Hat in Time. Hat in Time has a ton of different elements that were reminiscent of Psychonauts, so, I don't know, like, I knew that it was a huge pop culture, it was kind of a sleeper hit, in a way, but, like, I don't know, I had never gotten around to playing it, which sucks. It was on Xbox, but at the time I was only playing Halo games, so I didn't care all that much about playing anything outside of that realm, or anything that I felt like picking up from, like, the rental shop that we had. A lot of funny stuff. How you doing? Everybody said, I've played the first couple of levels of Psychonauts. I don't know, it is a blast of a game. Now that I've played it, I definitely am looking forward to seeing when Psychonauts 2 comes out. And I need to play that one, the Rhombus Psychonauts game, like the VR version of it. But like I said in the casual stream I did recently, I'm trying to, like, gain a little bit of muscle mass since I've been, like, I don't know, I've been slacking on doing any kind of exercise, and that's kind of atrophied a whole lot of my musculars. And I'm not saying I need to get swole, but I'm just saying I need to get a little bit better in terms of strength and not feeling like achy. Rosa says, I guess one game was a bit flighty for you, eh? Flighty? Are you making fun of Flight Simulator? I have no... what's the pun? I've lost the pun. Anyway. Gamer says, Rosa says, yes. Kitty face. Gamerswood says, I will be honest, I used to know a kid in 4th grade who always played PUBG, so I kind of got tired of watching first-person shooters, but I'm fine to watch for a bit. Also, that message was late. No, that's perfectly fine. I know that first-person shooters aren't some people's bag, but hey, that's fine. You have your own tastes. That's totally cool. Someone draw Buff B. No. Okay, I am not going to endorse or, wag my finger about that. I'm just going to say, Anyway, yeah, no, Psychonauts. Psychonauts was freaking great, and I'm looking forward to Psychonauts 2 whenever that finally comes out. The next game that we are going to have on the list, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be very excited about seeing it show up here, that was Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, that started up in very late 2019, but it really hit its stride during 2020, where I did a lot of extra playtime for that game. Hollow Knight was an interesting journey for me, because it was one of those games that I enjoyed, but it was stupidly hard. And I was incredibly hard on myself when it came to playing Hollow Knight. I wasn't very good. And of course, that's the whole point of Hollow Knight, is you're gonna be bad until you finally get good. I know, that's the entire point of it. Fluffy says Bit who beats hard boss the second try. I ran into a whole lot of major problems with the game as I was playing it. I ended up dying a whole lot. I ended up losing a hell of a lot of debug coin. And I don't know, it was not really encouraging to end up dying that much and losing that much stuff, even if it wasn't all that important in the long run. I don't know, it's just stressful, and I never really enjoyed situations like that in video games, and I always just feel self-confident. Actually, no, not self-confident. Self-conscious about stuff like that, especially when it comes to, like, YouTube comments. Because I know that these videos are going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, and I know that I'm going to get comments after the fact, usually several months after the fact, from people chastising me and telling me that, ugh, geez, you seriously didn't get that boss properly? Good lord, you need to have patience, you dickbag. Like, wait for them to try and attack you, and then you parry them. That's how you do stuff, alright? And, like, it's that kind of thing that pressures me, because there are people that are just assholes when it comes to the internet, and just like, oh, you're not 100% good at the game immediately as you start playing it? How dare you? And Fluffy says ignore them. I know, but it's easier said than done when it comes to that kind of thing. Funny Stuff says, here come the gamers! Pretty much. Jesus. Parry the platypus! What? Where the hell? Silver says, I will actually fight anyone who says that to you. Oh, no. Don't worry about that. Hey, I can defend myself with stuff like that. But it does get to me every once in a while. But it took a little bit of fighting, like my own personal fighting, to finally manage to break past that. And it really was an experience of trying to learn patience and learn that, you know what, sometimes it's perfectly okay to not be good with a game. Even if, I don't know. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, and if somebody decides to try and step in and try and, step on your fun when you're trying to enjoy your video games, don't take that. Just don't. Fluffy says, I scoured every available inch and I could find, and I got the Dream Nail. Ooh, Dream Nails. Evbay says, I don't know how many times I died to Hornet. Ugh, much death. Rosa says, I got to the newest part of Stardew, and I'm slowly getting there. Stardew? Ooh, yeah, there's some updates with Stardew Valley. Gamer says, it's fine if the game is hardest first. You just gotta keep on moving until you find the right path. Right. Well, on top of that, whenever I play video games, there's a lot of video games that I kind of need to play for a little while, and eventually I'll finally get it. You know, like something will finally just click with me, and I'll be like, oh, yes, I understand. I see what's going on here. Despite the fact that a game will try to hint it constantly, being like, no, here's how you play the game, dipshit. And yet it takes me forever until I'm finally like, you know what? No, I think I get it. But, you know, it's like, it's kind of one of those things that you can't actively verbally teach somebody. Yeah, you have to, like, drop them in head first and, you know, show them by experience. Fluffy says, I don't know how I managed to push through the crustal mines without dodge. Gamer says, Arosa says, what music is this? The current music playing is Possum Springs from Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods, one of my personal favorites from back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like a couple of days. Actually, a couple of years ago. Hello, Sun God. Glad to see you're here. But anyway, yeah, Hollow Knight. I mean, also on top of that, to give you an idea and perspective about how much I like Hollow Knight, after I was done playing it on the stream, I replayed the entire thing and got up to like 106% completion on the game. Not perfect completion, but 106%. I did a hell of a lot after everything was said and done. And I came to realize that I think Hollow Knight is one of those games that I really need to try and not take any advice from the chat. I did a hell of a lot of that during my playthrough. I kind of need to experience it for myself. So, you know, just to show you, yeah, I do care. And this was definitely a really fun game. I really liked it. And I'm looking forward to when, you know, the new Hollow Knight comes out, Silksong. That's going to be freaking amazing. And hopefully I'll take what I've learned from playing the original Hollow Knight to that. And maybe I'll do fairly decent. I don't know. Everybody said, it was funny because I got Hollow Knight back when it first came out on the Switch. Died a bunch in the starting area, got lost in the Forgotten Crossroads, and then set it down and forgot about it until this year. I've done that with a couple of video games. Except for a few games I never go back, which makes me sad. You know it's really fun game? Says sponsor voice. Oh, shush. Fluffy says, I can't wait for what interesting new mechanics they will bring in with her abilities. That'll be interesting. Raid Shadow Legends. Hell no. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next game that I think was extremely noteworthy during this particular year. And that would be Animal Crossing. Everybody and their dog has talked about how Animal Crossing is such a huge game for 2020. It's true. Animal Crossing was freaking huge. For a large portion of reasons. I mean, considering we were all having to deal with, you know, our own quarantines and being locked up and we didn't have much to do. And there were certain things just like, oh, God, I don't want to wake up early in the morning just to be able to do stuff. I think, at least for me personally, Animal Crossing was a game that actually gave me a reason to get up early, or at least not really early, but early enough that I could do stuff in the game and, you know, experience things that you couldn't normally do in the PM hours. As well as it was a nice little incremental thing where there was just so many tiny things that you got to do each and every day. The only thing that I feel ended up getting a little bit of a... The only thing that got kind of problematic when it comes to Animal Crossing was that it got stale very quickly. I think the drip feed of content needed to be a little tiny bit more constant. Like, what I imagined is that each season and every single month was going to have a large flurry of new fish, new bugs to catch, that kind of thing. Perhaps, like, maybe some new fossil type of things. In general, I was just expecting a lot more elements, and that didn't end up happening. And after about 6 months of playing the game daily, I got really tired of it. In fact, I think I've forgotten to play it today. I've kind of been playing it every other day nowadays. And, I mean, like, it's a nice time waster, and it gives you something to do, but I've kind of fallen out of love with it just because of how much I freaking played it. It's still good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I don't have much reason to continue to go back to it. On top of this, Oh, Fluffy says, I put it down for months. Jesus. Yeah, I had a little bit of extra addiction to it. And that's funny, coming from somebody who never played Animal Crossing before until Animal Crossing, this one came out, New Horizons. But anyways, no, it also doesn't help that the whole Nintendo issues that have been going on as of late have really soured my interpretation of Nintendo games as of late. And I've already mentioned this on the stream and in a couple of different places, but anything associated with Nintendo right now I'm currently backing away from, and I'm trying not to do too much, at least from a streamer standpoint. I might play them off stream a little bit, but I try not to advertise them too hardcore now. Because I really need them to start backpedaling on a lot of the decisions that they've made, because it's kind of disgusting. Like, they need to have a little bit of a better interaction and relationship from company to consumer, and they just don't have that. Like, they see you as some sort of a horrible criminal just for doing something as basic as enjoying the game, ever so slightly different than what they originally interpreted or planned for it to be. I don't like that. And I think they definitely need to get with the times and understand that there are certain things that you really shouldn't fight. Like, I understand protecting your IPs and, trying to keep a straight-laced image. But I don't know. It's kind of like they're stepping almost as far as freaking, the Disney and the freaking mouse. It's like, you don't double-cross Mickey, otherwise you get the horns. So, I don't know. One of these days, I will probably eventually get back to playing some Nintendo games, but absolutely not right now. And especially if they decide to keep pulling the cease and desist that they have, because it's not cool, not fun. Again, I'm hoping that maybe we can see some slight changes to that in the coming year. Maybe, coming years, perhaps? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Again, old heads, old philosophies from a company that is based in in a pop culture that is much different than our own, and a much different upbringing and much different philosophies when it comes to business. Not much you can really do about that. But anyways, enough about that stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about the final game that I would say was pretty noteworthy here. Can you take a random stab in the dark and guess what the hell it was? Yeah, that's right. A Hat in Time showed up on this list again. I'm sorry, I like Hat in Time. Yep, Silver's got it. Yeah, seriously, the modding community for Hat in Time has kept this game alive far longer than I ever expected it ever would, and I am super happy about that. This is a game that I absolutely supported right from when I learned about the original Kickstarter. And again, to this day, I'm still very sad that I never contributed to it. But at the same time, I am very happy with how it turned out, and I am very glad to have made the purchase and supported the community, and I don't know, just done anything that I possibly could to try and lift it up and show people, this game is amazing, play it. And I think that that definitely shows, because Hat in Time has gotten a hell of a lot bigger over the course of the last few years. I don't know anybody who does not know just, Smug Hat Kid. That's a meme in and of itself. But yeah, I've had a lot of really fun experiences doing hat mods, and I have stumbled upon so many freaking talented people in the community. I've met a whole bunch of the members of the community that are extremely talented. Even to this day, there's some people that, good lord, I'm still a little bit starstruck whenever I talk with them. I never say it directly to their faces, but good lord. Sometimes I talk to some people in the Hat in Time community, and I'm just like, you're so cool! You're amazing! You do all these cool things! And this is partially why I decided to do as much work as I do from a voice actor's perspective for Hat in Time mods. That's why I've pitched my voice to a whole lot of different projects, because I still support the ever-loving hell out of it, and I support anybody who would try and have, a creative... Oh, Jesus. The Cave Story mod. A nice music. It partners up. But anyway, no, I definitely support the creativity, and I want to help out with that creativity in whatever way that I possibly can. Again, VA is one of those things that I can do. Give me a second, my microphone went out for some reason. I think voice mod just had a little bit of a shit. Anyway. But no, I still absolutely support the community, and I will see where this community ends up going. I'm going to keep on driving on this road until finally it reaches its end. I have no idea when. I don't know what time, but I can tell you this. From just what I've seen, both on the surface and some behind-the-scenes things, the Hat in Time modding community is far from being done and over with. There's so much more to look forward to, and I certainly am looking forward to some stuff. Emperor says, had I not found this game, I wouldn't have found you. Oh, thank you very much. Kid Whom Has a Hat says, if a Hat in Time was never introduced to me, I literally would have no idea what I would be like. Yet it is very strange. I feel like my life did change, just like from the days when I actually played Hat in Time and the days where I didn't. Evbe says, wanted to play it for forever, but I suck at platformers for PC, so I stuck waiting for it to come out on Switch. Well, either that or you can get a controller for PC. That's what I tend to do. Trashy says, Bit, I want to help out in the modding community with my whole art thing, but I want to know how to reach out to modders. How do you do that? Go to Modding General. That's basically it. Like, just talk to folks. That's kind of all it really is. And especially, try and stay consistent and constant with them as well. Like, let people know and make a name for yourself within the community as somebody who does a particular thing. You know, for me, it's voice acting, and a lot of people know, oh, hey, that's the dude that has, like, the decent mic who does voices for mods. And, you know, try and offer it up wherever you possibly can. And if you... Trashy says, Don, I don't know. Just ask somebody. Like, ask anybody. I would say that. I mean, even just, like, go into general and say, just like, hey, if anybody wants me to do some art assets or anything like that for a mod, like, I'm totally up and, you know, ready and prepared to do that. And maybe show off some art that you do. I don't know. Like, just, it's kind of all about letting people know that you're here and you're willing to do a little bit of work for people. That's it. And that's what I've done. In fact, come to think of it, I need to upgrade my, my voice demo reel for Hat in Time voices. I got to do that, and then I need to post that somewhere. I don't know entirely where. And by the way, I'm still entirely open for doing voices for mods and such. So if anybody is curious or interested or is working on any, hey, like, shoot me a line. I'm totally cool with that. Trashy says, wow, who knew the solution to that question was talking to people. Oh, Jesus. With somebody that has severe, like, social anxiety, it's hard to get past. I still struggle with it from time to time. Especially, again, when you see a whole lot of the people as talented as they are, you kind of feel like, oh, God, how do I even reach them? How do I talk to people? I don't know. Empress is saying, should I ask for Hat in Time for computer on my birthday? I really want it because of the mod support. Hey, you could. If you're interested in the whole mod support, I would recommend. I don't know what kind of computer you have. Some mods are absolutely ridiculous. And they're very, you know, some of them are optimized, some of them are not. So, we'll see. Kid Whom Has a Hat says, spend more time hanging out in Mod General than actually modding. Yeah, I would just, like, I would put my, like, my 2 cents out there and just say, hey, I do art assets and things. Or heck, if you can see somebody that happens to be asking the question of, hey, is there anybody out there that can do some art assets for whatever it is that I'm currently working on? I don't know. Like, pitch yourself. Like, slip into their DMs and just be like, hey, I can help you. And who knows, like, maybe if you ask them, they will actually respond and be like, oh, yeah, totally. Rosa says, I've been zoning out so much to this point that I have nailed my footage loop to a science. Hey, stop looking at the seams. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. But yeah, it is kind of a small loop. It's about 2 minutes of footage. Sorry, I don't have a hell of a lot of time to work on, you know, combining a whole bunch of clips. It's so simple. I know. Hey, I just needed some kind of a visual, though. Silver says, I would totally join in, but I'm very shy when it comes to really cool people, and I suck with 3D stuff. Well, you don't necessarily like. I mean, yeah, like Trashy said, like if there is something that you want to do, even like if it's an art related thing, there's always room for people that might that you know they might need some help with some art or something. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I totally understand what you say when you say the whole 3D stuff. Actually, when it comes to really cool people, I totally get it. Rosa says, I have a visual idea. Cat cam. Well, again, one, I don't have any cats here, actually. Like, they're all over at my parents' place. Just because, like, they're the ones that take care of them. They're the ones that own them. But on top of that, even if I did have a cat at this point, I would... how the heck would I even set that up? Because, you know, this is an entirely cat-free zone. I can't really have cats within this area. Hypoallergenic. Because I'm actually allergic. Pink says, I can finally share this, and Pink has shared a picture. Okay, I will take a look at that sometime a little bit later. Gamer Squid says, I might try and help make covers for mods and try voice acting. Not a bad idea. Give it a shot, and, like, improve yourself. See what you can do with the tech you have there, see where you can improve, and go from there. Like, I can definitely tell you this. Absolutely nothing will happen if you decide to do nothing. If you do nothing, nothing will happen from it. So, hey, give whatever it is that you feel like doing, give it a shot. Because I definitely say, like, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for a whole lot of just the testing and trying out and all of the things that I attempted over the course of me doing this whole live stream thing. Why does pumpkin become cheese? Good freaking question. I think, all right, the serious answer, I'm pretty sure it was just a really quick button press that I accidentally did. But it was so seamless that it looked like the pumpkin just turned into cheese. I don't know, I love that freaking joke. I'm just like, what? Cheese? What cheese? Dadgum, I could talk about this game for hours. There's so many really cool things, especially, again, the community. It's a lovely place, a lovely group of people. And it just seems to be a lot of people that really want to help out each other. Okay, Smokey. Well, anyways, I've done a heck of a lot of talking here, so I think now would be the time to move on to some more stream-related things. But that is the end of my year-end retrospective thing, which I'll be cutting that out separately and uploading it independently to the YouTube, just so that it releases to the YouTube before the year's end. Because, oopsie doodles, I kind of did, you know, I had a backlog of VODs, and I ended up having to upload them all the way into February. So yeah, I expect that to be coming out sometime, not maybe soon on the YouTube, but definitely sooner than the end of the year.